What's up, y'all? Welcome back, or for the first time, to GodCasts. I'm Hidden Apache. This is Hidden Apache here. And like always, we're going to be continuing our playthrough, which this time is Nightmare in Dreamland. Season 2 GodCasts. Yeah, all that good stuff. I had the brilliant idea. As I've said previously, this is post-commentary. I mean, um, so I'm trying to figure out efficient ways to line up everything that I'm doing. And the brilliant one that I had was because I record these episodes in chunks, like in huge chunks. I had like an hour's worth of Kirby footage that I'm talking over. I say the timestamp before I do the countdown, so that way I won't have to look at frame data for something that's not a fighting game. Um, but anyway, let me get into it because I think like 10 minutes left, so that should fill these out quite nicely. And then after that, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna handle timing with things in case I have a longer episode and stuff like that. If I don't know, if I just have a whole bunch of Kirby footage, it shouldn't be a problem. But what I'm scared about is if I run out of footage and I have stuff to still talk about. In that case, maybe I don't know. We'll think about that problem when I get to it because it's not gonna do me any good mulling over it now. But what I'm here to talk about now is the Christmas time and the Christmas feeling and things like that. And Christmas at my house is, or at least growing up, what it was is like Vince Guaraldi trio soundtrack being played, which is the the Peanuts Christmas special music from like PBS being played, um, as well as man, what else? Nat King Cole. So those two. This mini game again. Jesus Christ. 17 milliseconds, easy baby. But yeah, so those two albums being played with fake snow on banisters and counters and tables and nativity scenes and little model houses made of porcelain and things like that. And a Christmas tree, and I think during the whole season we only use the light from the sun in the windows and the like little LED bulbs, Christmas probably not LED, but the little bulbs that we had as well. So it was a really nice little chill environment, chill feeling, because it wouldn't get dark until maybe like excuse me, until like 7, 8 o'clock. So really, at that point anyway, we'd be using lamps. So it was pretty much the same light, the same amount of light, but just in a different form. So it was pretty cool. And as soon as December hit, December 1st, there was again on PBS a 25 Days of Christmas family special where every day they'd marathon a different movie. Two movies that stick out immediately in my head are one with the Heat Miser, Mr. 101, the Rudolph thing, and A Christmas Story with the You'll Shoot Your Eye Out. And I'm thinking about it now. I don't think I actually. The wheel in Nightmare in Dreamland is kind of really, really hard to control. Like, you can't jump as the wheel. I don't think, or if you can, I haven't remembered how. But anyway, A Christmas Story, yeah. And since I've been here since September, which is not a very holiday-oriented month whatsoever, as far as I can remember, or as far as I'm concerned, to say the, for lack of a better phrase, it's not very holiday-oriented. So when November hits, you've got Thanksgiving embodied, and when October is Halloween, November is Thanksgiving, and December is obviously Christmas and New Year's even. And so when you get to those, you got those, the feeling of those holidays. Halloween, I never really celebrated as a kid, just because it's not something we did. Thanksgiving it was a big thing we celebrated, but it wasn't something that we looked forward to it, of course, but there wasn't much build up to it like weeks or days in advance. It was more so the day before, everybody was getting the food ready, and then the morning of, there was a lot of cooking and family time. Then we eat, and then we sleep, and then Christmas time is the thing that really had all the build up and the hype. But we had school for a while up until Christmas here. Like I think the 17th or the 18th is when we were out of school finally. I think that sounds about right. I'm not too sure. But when we finally did get out of school, we went to Bavaria, which is a region in Germany, to visit some family here in Germany. So like family of my host parents, and it was pretty cool. One of the daughter of my host aunt I hadn't met in the initial weekend in Kempen that I'm pretty sure that I talked about as well. So that was cool. And I wasn't really homesick, but it wasn't really a Christmas feeling to me because for the past like close to 20 years now, it's had a very specific and like very constant feeling and atmosphere. So it was fine. It wasn't like bad or anything like that. It was just different, so it was no problem there. What else have I got? Oh, but for Christmas, one thing that I did get is my friend Max bought me. I couldn't. Okay, my fight stick, my first fight stick, the very first one that I ever owned was a Hori Mini 4. A Hori Fighting Stick Mini 4 is the full name of it. That was my first ever fight stick because I didn't want to spend that much. I spent like $40 on it just to see if it was worth relearning because that's the way that I had played like Street Fighter 2 in arcades. So I bought it to see if it was going to come back to me naturally, and it did. So Max was like, you know what, let me do that same thing. Like, let me see if I want to try out a fight stick. So he actually bought that from me. I wanted to give it to him for a lower price, but he was like, no, Mike, just take it. I was like, okay, I'll $30. He was like, 35. I was like, 32. He was like, 40. Don't make me go higher. I was like, all right, chill. 40, fine. So he bought it from me, and I put that money towards getting a Street Fighter SE, which is, I got the PS3 version because I liked it better. It's not that different than the Xbox version. I just liked it better. With plans of upgrading it in the future, like replacing the buttons and stick. And my buddy Vince, again, might have heard his name in conjunction with Triwing because he's the creator of that. He's a really good friend of mine. I made the soundtrack for that. It's a game that was successfully kickstarted, so is now in late alpha, I want to say. Late alpha stage, don't quote me on that, but it's making a lot of progress. It's making a lot of ground. He actually gifted me new Sumitsu buttons, and a Sumitsu stick with a clear ball top. Clear Sumitsu buttons and a clear Sumitsu stick. Or ball top, I should say. Because he asked me what parts I was getting, and then he was just like, alright, I ordered it for you. I was like, wow. And I was like, I don't know, it was a really cool feeling, because it was really dope. It was really dope of him. He's a really good guy. He's a really good guy. He's really, what am I trying to say? There's a word, generous. There we go. Generous, gracious, whatever. Generous. That's the one. That's the G word I was looking for. Always looking out for young homie. So that's pretty good. He's helped me a lot with my stream as well and getting my stream set up and tips on how to stream and whatnot. I'm actually using his account for Street Fighter 5, so that's another thing. His Steam account, I mean. So that's pretty lit. But all that to say, that PS3 Street Fighter SE stick works only on PS3 and like USB 1.2 ports. So any modern computer, not future tech, like not anything super high end, but any modern, like this is just my whack laptop or whatever, this is just the desktop that I have, anything like that, that stick is probably not going to work on. So when it finally came in, this is before he gifted me the buttons, by the way. I bought the stick, it comes in, I'm like, alright, yeah, the stick feels a little loose, the buttons feel a little given in, but I can work with it. I plug it in and it doesn't work. I'm freaking out. And then I'm gonna call with Vincent. I'm like, you have the same stick, don't you? He was like, yeah. I was like, what did you do to make it work? And I was like, he told me that he actually had to buy a brand new USB card with a specific chipset to get it to work, which is completely it's not. I didn't feel like, oh, why didn't you tell me or anything like that, because he was a busy guy. He was just like, oh yeah, I have that fight stick. I modded it, so it's cool. Um, but I messed up blowing up my power up there. But it was like I saw it. I saw that he had bought a USB card, but he also had other tech that he bought too, so I didn't think anything of it. But that was my fault for not doing the research. Um, but when the card did finally come in, I think after about a week maybe, at that point I had the buttons in the stick with me as well. I think so. By the time I modded the stick, I could actually use it on my computer and all. So it was really cool. But it still only works. That didn't change anything about the stick itself. It still only works on PS3 and very specific USB chipsets. So it doesn't work on this laptop that I have here. So even if I did take it with me, it was going to be a long shot in case, oh, maybe some friends here have a PS3 or PS4 or what have you. But all that to say, Max bought me a freaking Kwamba Q1, which was actually my dream stick. It was $80, which was out of my $50 price point, like price range that I had for the SE. So he bought me this Kwamba Q1 right here, which was really, I'll put a picture of it up. It was really cool of him. And so, but guess what though? Tune in next time for the next episode of GodCast where, what is he? Let me see. He changed his notebook. He changed which one. He talks about My Mania and the Dota 2 video that he did. So that maybe that'll be interesting. I don't know. I don't watch this stuff. I just edit it. That's what all I get paid to do. I don't get paid to do anything else. So, yeah. If you, what am I supposed to say? Oh yeah, like always, if you like the series, save the playlist. If you have anything you want to know specifically, leave topics in the comments. And yeah, so clickety clickety click. Goodbye.